It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show. Robots, skeletons, and unicorns. Big wheels, elephants, and astronauts. It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show. Painting can take you where you wanna go. It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show.
Hi, welcome to the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. Today, bird party. So imagine it. What would it be like to be a bird? Famous Japanese artist Hokusai once said, "If you want to draw a bird, you must become a bird." Birds fly. How would it feel to be up in the clouds, flying around? Well, the first thing, we're going to do our background. So I've got all my paint out. I've got cerulean blue in a darker shade and a lighter shade. Cerulean is the blue, that's the color of the sky. So I'm going to load up a big brush and just brush it all around for the sky. Put some water with my paint. Darker parts to the sky, because there are many blues to the sky. Are you thinking about what it might like to be a bird? How would that feel? Your home would be a nest. And getting it all around, the top and the bottom. Maybe I want a little bit of my light purple in my sky. You can be doing a drawing or following along with paint, using crayons, whatever you have available. A little bit of a dark blue in the sky. Maybe some white for some clouds. Now, how do we paint a bird? That's right. You use shapes. I'm going to wash out my big brush. We can always add some more in for the sky later. Let's think about starting to get those birds in there. Get a smaller detail brush. I'm going to use burnt umber, my dark brown. What shape should I use to start my bird for the head? Yeah, a circle. Now, what shape should I add for the beak? That's right, a triangle. So I'm going to use another brush, load it up, small detail brush with yellow oxide. That's a good beak color. It's a darker yellow. There we go. Now, for the body of the bird, I sometimes like to have a neck on there. The birds can come in all shapes and sizes. So, since we're making a bird party, we're going to have more than one bird. I made a little neck for this guy. Now, what shape did I use for his body? That's right, an oval. Now, I wash out my brush. I'm going to switch colors for his wings. What shape could I use for the wings? Triangles. There's a dark red. Now what can I do? Well, sometimes birds have another kind of a triangle up top on their head for the feathers on their head. And then a tail feather. And that has triangles at the end too. Okay, I've got my first bird started, but I'm going to go on and put in some of my other birds. We'll get back to adding his eyes and more feathers in a minute. Next bird, I'm going to start with orange. And I'm going to put her down here. Loaded up my brush. Start with the circle for her head. I used a dark orange and a light, more yellow orange, and I'm mixing them together right on my brush. Now, I think I'll make her body more like a diamond shape. See how that works out. I just got that idea right now. Sometimes great ideas come to you when you're painting. Your birds don't have to be just like my birds. You can make different birds, because everybody is going to make their paintings just a little bit different. Maybe the feathers of the wings might have some loops underneath. I like how she's turning out. And she needs another wing on the other side. And of course, a little tail feather. I'll take my small detail brush that I've been using for the beak, and I'll give her that same yellow beak. Artists will repeat the same color in different spots of their painting. That way your eye starts to go, oh yeah, I recognize that color from over there. Now, time for my third bird. Really been looking forward to this one. We're going to make her a green bird. So right there, I'll start the circle for my head using a dark green. And I'll put a yellow green right on top. Wet paint right on top of wet paint. Nice and thick. Now if you're using watercolor, your paint won't be as thick, but that's okay. You can load up your brush with green and mix some yellow into the green right on the lid of your paints. There's the body and the wings. go. Very colorful. All the birds flying and playing together. Maybe, just to be a little different, I'll give this bird a red beak. And yellow at the end, a long pointed beak. Looks like a hummingbird. Hummingbirds beat their wings very, very fast, faster than any other bird. And then, don't forget the tail feather. Now birds have feet too, so you can add on feet, but sometimes you won't always see the feet when they're flying in the air. So that's up to you. Maybe some of your birds could have feet, and some of your birds, you won't be able to see them. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I can squeeze one more bird into there. Down here, we'll start on a purple bird. Maybe this will be the baby bird. She's just learning to fly. And her beak is open. She could be singing. And a little more round of a body. It'll look like a baby bird. I'll start to draw her eye. Triangle for some feathers on the top of her head. Her wings will be close to her body. She's beating them real fast as she practices. Because learning to fly takes practice. Just like learning to paint takes practice. So if it doesn't turn out just like you want, you've got to keep going. I might go faster because I've had more practice. Okay, now let's think about some of those feathers. On the body of our big bird here, I can make zigzag lines in rows. And those look like really good feathers. And I can start to think about how I want to color the feathers. Bird feathers can be many different colors. So I have some orange that I can use in there. Ooh, those are some bright feathers. I like it. And that's a nice bright red orange. Nice and thick. And on the wings, I'll have some more zigzags. Now, sometimes I jump around a little when I paint, and I'm starting to think that this bird needs an eye. So I'm going to go back up here and make a circle out of my brown. And then I'll get my real small brush. And in the middle, I'll make another little teeny tiny circle. A lot of times that's how artists work. They start with bigger brushes and then move towards the smaller brushes as they get more details. And the same thing's true with the feathers. My teacher once taught me that the feathers on the face are going to be much smaller than the feathers on the wings. Those zigzags sure are fun. I don't know if they look like feathers, but I like making them. There we go. The top of his head. Make some more feathers. Start using my darker red too. Make a pattern. Red, orange, burgundy or dark red. I alternate one and then the other. Even on the neck. There we go. Gonna go back to my medium-sized brush. Back to these wings. What do you think the birds are saying to each other when they tweet away in the sky? How's your day going? All right. That's a good start for that guy. Let's move towards the other birds. I got out some of my neon pink. I thought that might be good for the feathers of this triangle bird, where I made a diamond shape for her body. A diamond you can make from two triangles. So if you had trouble, you could make one triangle and then another triangle underneath it. Let's put some of those pinks on top of this bird. There we go. Or you could do some lines. For the top of the head. For those feathers. Sometimes colors bump into each other by accident. My pink bumped into my yellow-orange. And now I'm getting some really exciting color. Remember, you hold your brush like a pencil, you get more control. Some birds fly south in the winter to get out of the cold. I can't blame them, because it gets pretty cold in Illinois. Now this bird, I'm going to make her eye, not by drawing it, but just by filling it in and leaving it. Let me show you what I mean. I'll leave that blue of the sky to make a circle for the eye. Real thick paint on her. I can always add more later when it dries up a little bit. Now, I'm going to go back to my really small detail brush. Take some green. Give her a green eye right in the middle. Yeah, I like that. Take a little bit of time, go back to my big brush, and start brushing some more of that sky in there in a few spots. Now that I got my birds in there, maybe I can get a little bit thicker with some of that sky paint. See where that's going to. Sometimes you can work on the background while you're thinking where your birds are going. Maybe it's a birthday party for a bird. There we go. Now we're getting some sky in there. Sometimes it just takes a while to warm up. Just like when you're practicing an instrument or playing a sport, you gotta warm up. Now things are moving along. Let's see. Let's get that cloud nice and thick. That's one thing I love about paint. You can put it on nice and thick. Another cloud there. There we go. Clouds all around. Okay. Now that we've worked on the sky a little bit, ooh, how about this? A little more pink in the sky. Maybe it's sunset or sunrise. That's always a really interesting time of day for painters because the skies are really colorful. Lots of different things going on. All right, back to my hummingbird. Taking my detail brush, making a circle for her eye. Maybe even a little bit further on that beak. Hummingbirds have long beaks. And I'm going to use a zigzag pattern to make some triangles for her wings. Now, if you need to catch up, or if I go too fast, don't worry. You can always come back to the bird. All the birds are playing together nicely, no matter what color they are. If they have a short beak, or a long beak, or a long neck, or no neck, they're all playing nicely. And that's what we should do with your brothers and sisters and all your friends. Okay, let's use some yellow-green on that hummingbird. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Now, once we have the hummingbird, a green hummingbird, kind of like a bird from a dream. Once we have the green hummingbird, all finished. It's time for baby bird. We've got to make her just right. She's a dark purple, but she's also got some light spots. So let's mix a little blue with our light purple and get going. There we go. She almost blends in a little bit with the sky. I think she's going real fast, even though she's just a baby. There's some nice thick pink. Pink and blue. Get my detail brush ready. I think her beak could be yellow. Some yellow for her eye. Now, let's see. Time to take a moment to think about the painting. We're almost finished. A couple of little more areas of pink for the sky. Be a little bit more yellow up top where the sun is setting. Peeking through the clouds here and there. And then we've always got to sign our painting. So I'm going to take my brush, pick a color. Maybe this red and this orange might be good. Pick a good spot. I just sign them with my last name. F-I-T-Z. That's for Mr. Fitzy. And Happy New Year. Can you believe it? It's 2014. Sometimes artists just write the last two digits for 14. Now, got just a couple of more minutes, so I think this bird could use a little more color in the tail feathers. Maybe some yellow where the sun's shining off his wings. There we go. All right. There we have it. Bird party. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. I had such a nice time. I hope you enjoyed painting and painted along with me. And make sure you check us out on the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show YouTube channel. And until next time, keep painting.
It's the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. Painting can take you where you wanna go.